Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Having trouble moving forward from past cheating, and it's affecting my current relationship. For some context, I, 24F, have been in 2 relationships that have lasted over 2 years, and 2 that have lasted a few months. They have all cheated on me. I'm in a healthy relationship now where I haven't been cheated on. My first relationship spanned the entirety of high school, and he was very manipulative and verbally abusive. He made me cut all of my friends off, would periodically search through my phone, and would tell me things like I would be nothing without him or appearance-wise I'm a 4/10. He would scream at me if I ever voiced that I was upset with something he did. Hearing things like that at such a young age and being cut off from having any friends in high school completely destroyed any shred of confidence I had. He cheated and left me for another girl and is now married to her. My second relationship was 2 years long and was okay mostly, but we didn't really click personality-wise. I stayed for a while because I didn't have the confidence to leave. But eventually I found him texting a girl he worked with in his phone and found hours-long FaceTimes, and even though that wasn't cheating, it was crossing a boundary, and so I ended it. I found out later they'd been seeing each other behind my back and they now have a baby together. My other 2 short relationships were exclusive, and I caught them both sexting other women. So anyways, back to the present, I am currently in a relationship, 9 months, that is so much better than any other one I've been in. We have healthy communication, he doesn't degrade me or isolate me from people, and we're very similar. But despite all of this, I'm so deeply terrified he's going to cheat on me. I went to find pictures from Valentine's Day to send to myself in his phone yesterday and I couldn't help myself. I looked at his Snapchat and saw he'd messaged some girl who'd posted a picture with the caption, "Do you want to see me post more?" He had replied yes, of course. It was from a week ago and the girl hadn't even opened the message, but it made my heart sink. He said they used to be friends before we dated. I looked on Instagram and he's liked all of her posts, even the ones in bikinis. I know this seems very small, but in the past this is how I discovered boyfriends cheating. I've seen something weird on their phones that turned out to be something bigger. I keep thinking, what would have happened if she had replied? What were his intentions when he replied to that post? If I think about it too much I get sick. I set boundaries with him at the beginning of the relationship that I'm not comfortable with him texting women who I'm not aware of. If he talks to me about it, that's a different story. I just don't like being blindsided with stuff like this, even if it's innocent messaging. I know it's a harsh boundary, but he agreed to it. It has to do with my trauma from other relationships. I agreed to do the same. When I asked him why he messaged her, he either says he doesn't know or he was just being stupid. He seems very remorseful and has removed her from his socials, but the damage is already done. I keep comparing myself to her and wondering why she was worth breaking a boundary. Why I wasn't enough to make him not reach out to other people. All of the work I've done to make myself more confident feels like it's just gone down the drain. I feel crazy and like I'm overreacting, but I'm just so sad. What do I do? Here are some of the best comments from our community. Just communicate with him. Tell him your fears. Let him know until now the relationship has been your best ever. This could be innocent on his part, he just didn't think how the conversation may appear to you. Talk to him. I would have to say you and I have been through similar paths. The relationship history and even being in a seemingly healthy relationship now because he has openly asked a woman to see more, I would take that as a red flag. My current so was so sweet, literally perfect to me since the beginning, but that's also because he's 10 years older than me and has the experience of covering his tracks. He was sexting and getting/receiving photos of random women offline. His excuse? It's just like porn to him. It's funny though, because we went through the same boundary discussions. I was upfront to him about all my expectations and everything. Bottom line is it doesn't matter. Would he go up to a random woman and ask to see more? Then why do it online? I don't care the excuse. I haven't left because I'm pregnant and have plans to give birth at home, which I won't be able to afford on my own. If I was in your situation, I would leave. I would trust my gut, that instinct that led me to search his phone, and I would focus on me. Please don't wait until it's too late. If you had to post here, if you had to ask for that reassurance, I'm reassuring you that if it's one girl, it's most likely more. I really do hate to say it, but that sweet guy routine will probably only last a little bit longer now that you've already confronted one virtual discretion. I know exactly what it feels like. I have severe PTSD from childhood trauma, and I was recovering and doing so well until I met my current so. I swore this man was the love of my life, But now I can't even begin to tell you the pain of bearing his child knowing he's been living in a virtual sexual fantasy land. If I could take it all back, I would. If I could go back and leave him at the first gut feeling that he would say was my past relationship trauma, I would. I promise this isn't to scare you or hurt your feelings. I feel like the right guy wouldn't give you that fear, and if you continue to have that fear with everyone, you need to work on yourself and your confidence. I wish I could have taken this advice myself. Another cheating story. I was the cheater. 26, F, me, 28 MBF, and I have been together since end of high school. Have been together for 9 years. Before that I went to college in home state and he lived with family 2 hours away. In the first 2 years of the relationship we'd spend weekends together but sometimes would spend a month apart and his communication was not the best. He'd go a full week with little to no communication, and when I'd ask if he'd still want to be together he said how much he loved me but he sucked at communication. This cycle went on for 3 to 5 years before we moved in together. I broke up with him once because of it but shortly got back together. I believed he wasn't happy and was trying to hold on to the relationship, but his communication reflected in other areas of his life. He acted the same way with most of his family members and friends. He is such a caring person when you have his attention in person, but he could care less to talk on the phone, which was a major challenge since we were somewhat long distance. Within the first 2 years I cheated on him and it took me a while to tell him. Once I did, I wrote him a letter and read it in person telling him how he deserved to be with someone else. He wanted to stay together, and that was back when we were in our early 20s. So fast forward to today, we have a dog and been living together for 4 years. We are both very happy in our relationship together. But I have guilt about how I treated him. We got drunk on New Year's and I tried to ask him if it was something that bothered him still, and he said he was happy and moved on from the hurt it caused him. I guess my question here is, do you think anyone can be happy with their spouse after being hurt like that? If I am the one for him, I want him to be as happy as possible, and I feel like it's tainted the relationship forever. But at the same time I believe we've grown so much together. My problem is overthinking and analyzing the effects of what I did, even though he says it's not something that bothers him. It hurts me that I did that to him. Here are some of the best comments from our community. Why not change your approach from "it's okay if you want to leave" to "I'll fight for us and our love every day and make sure you stay"? Oh, this is tricky. But you have to go with the flow now. I tell you this because I have read and seen a few posts where the rug sweeping strikes years, decades later, and he may become resentful. You need to have this talk with him now. People, mostly men, start resenting for marrying cheaters and wants their own piece of the pie to balance it later. You need to talk openly, ask him whether he is harboring hate, ask if he has truly forgiven you, discuss why you did what you did. Don't blame him for your actions, there's exactly nothing he did or could do to make you cheat. Your cheating was your choice, your decision. Not his. Trust. Never lie to him. If you start telling lies to keep from hurting him, he'll just get triggered. Also make sure he's not rug sweeping it himself. If he is, he'll build up resentment and then it will just eat at your relationship. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.